My children, gather close and listen well, for this story is not told in haste. It is a story of beauty, pride, mystery, and the hidden hands of the spirits that dwell where the river bends. Long ago, before the roads were tarred and before machines began to speak louder than the crickets, there was a quiet Igbo village named Umeus. The people of Umeus were known for their red earth, their strong palm wine, and their women whose laughter could make even the gods smile. But they were also known for their sacred river, Idemalai, the river of spirits. The people never fished from it, never washed in it, and never crossed it without dropping a small kola nut first, for the elders said that deep within the green waters lived the river spirit, a being of great beauty and great temper. In that same village lived a girl called Nwanioma, the beautiful one. Her mother named her so on the day she was born because even the midwives gasped at her glowing skin. Her eyes were clear like morning dew, her voice soft like the song of a flute. As she grew, her beauty ripened like palm fruit in the sun. The men of Umeus and even from other villages came to seek her hand, but Nwanioma refused them all. She would smile, bow her head, and say gently, "My heart has not found the one it seeks." Some whispered that she was proud. Others said a spirit had cast its eyes on her. But her mother, Mama Odezayaku, would only shake her head and say, "My daughter is special. The gods will reveal her path." Nwanioma often wandered to the edge of river Idemalai at dusk. There, she would sit under the tall palm trees, humming songs that no one taught her. Her mother warned her many times. "My child," she said, "don't stay near that river when the sun begins to hide. That is when the world of men and the world of spirits become close." But Nwanioma would laugh softly. "Mama, the river listens to me. It answers when I sing." Her mother would shake her head, for she remembered what the elders said, that the river hears, yes, but it also chooses. One evening, as the crickets began their chorus and the sky turned the color of ripe palm oil, Nwanioma returned to the river as usual. She sat on a smooth rock and dipped her fingers into the water. It was cooler than before. The air was heavy and silent, as if the world was holding its breath. Suddenly, a voice, deep and calm like water flowing over stones, called her name. "Nwanioma." She turned quickly, but saw no one. The water rippled before her. Her heart beat fast, but she did not run. Again, the voice came, this time closer, clearer. "Nwanioma, daughter of Umeus. You have sung to me many moons. I have listened." The girl trembled, but she could not move. From the middle of the river, the water began to rise, shaping itself into the form of a man, tall, strong, his skin shining like polished bronze. His eyes glowed faintly like moonlight on still water. "I am Majimeri, the spirit of this river," he said. "You have called my name in song though you did not know it. Your voice has traveled beneath the current to where I sleep. I have come to see the one who sings to me." Fear and wonder mixed in Nwaniooma's heart. She fell to her knees, whispering, "I did not mean to call you, Great One." The spirit smiled. "Then perhaps it is I who have called you." He stretched out his hand, and a small calabash floated toward her, glowing faintly. Inside it was water that shimmered like silver. "Drink," he said, "and you will see the truth of your heart." Her hands shook as she lifted the calabash. The moment the water touched her lips, the world around her seemed to melt away. She saw visions, a great palace under the river, maidens with flowing hair, drums beating from deep below the water, and Majimeri sitting on a throne made of shells. When she opened her eyes again, the spirit was gone. Only the sound of the water remained. From that night onward, Nwanioma changed. She still went to the river, but her laughter became softer, her eyes distant, as though she was seeing things others could not. The villagers began to whisper. "She has seen something she should not," they said. "The river has taken part of her soul." Her mother noticed too. Sometimes she would wake in the night and hear Nwanioma talking in her sleep, not in her own voice, but in a deep, echoing tone that sounded like the river itself. One night, Mama Odezayaku followed her daughter secretly. The moon was full, the air cold. She watched from behind a palm tree as Nwanyoma stood by the river, her feet in the water, her hair loose, singing softly. The river shimmered, and a faint shape rose from it, the same tall figure she had seen before. Mama Odezayaku gasped and covered her mouth, her heart pounding like an Ojin drum. The spirit spoke again. Nwanyoma, my bride, soon you will join me. The girl nodded slowly, tears glistening in her eyes. But what of my mother? She has no one but me. The spirit's face softened. Do not fear. I will send blessings to your mother's household. But your place is by my side, beneath the river. At that, Mama Odezayaku could not bear it anymore. She screamed, Tufia. Leave my daughter alone, evil spirit. The spirit turned sharply, his glowing eyes meeting hers. The river churned violently, splashing high into the air. Nwanyoma fainted instantly. When the mother ran forward to pull her away, the river calmed again, and both the spirit and the light disappeared. Mama Odezayaku carried her daughter home, weeping and trembling. But when Nwanyoma woke the next morning, she could not remember what had happened. She only felt a strange peace, like someone waiting for something long promised. From that morning, things in Umuse began to change. Nwanyoma no longer joined the other girls at the market or danced during moonlight games. Her laughter, once bright as a flute, was now quiet like wind moving through dry grass. She spent her evenings by the river, no matter how much her mother begged her not to. Mama Odezayaku grew thin from worry. She went to the dibia, the village priest, whose name was Izenwa. He was an old man with eyes like the bottom of a calabash, dark and deep. When she told him what she had seen, he sat silently for a long while, then said, Woman, you should have come earlier. Your daughter has eaten from the hand of a spirit. Once that happens, the heart begins to follow the path of the spirit world. Tears rolled down her face. What can I do to bring her back? The dibia nodded slowly. Bring me one white cock, one kolanut, and water from the river, but do not fetch it yourself. The river already knows your scent. That night, Mama Odezayaku asked her brother's son, Obina, a strong young man, to fetch the water secretly before dawn. He went to the river with fear in his heart, but he was brave. He filled a gourd with the cold, shining water and ran home without looking back. Izenwa the dibia came at sunrise. He drew sacred marks on the ground and sprinkled the river water while murmuring ancient words. Nwanyoma sat quietly through it all, her eyes blank and far away. When the ritual ended, the dibia sighed. She is bound by promise, he said. The spirit has chosen her for his bride. The only thing holding her to this world is her mother's love. But soon, even that may not be enough. Days passed. Then one morning, the villagers woke to find the river swollen, though it had not rained. The water had crept past its bank, shining in the sunlight like the body of a giant snake. Children ran shouting that they saw faces in the water, faces that smiled and vanished. That evening, Nwanyoma vanished too. Mama Odezayaku searched through the village, screaming her daughter's name. Men with torches combed the forest. They found footprints leading to the river's edge, and then nothing. Only her wrapper, half buried in wet sand. The village mourned. Women wailed, men poured libation to calm the river, and the elders declared 3 days of silence. But on the third night, when the moon rose full again, a fisherman named Okachuku came running into the village, his eyes wide with terror. I saw her, he shouted. By the river. She was standing on the water, not in it, on it. She was smiling, and her eyes shone like the moon. Some said he was mad. Others believed him. But Mama Odezayaku went to the river again, crying out her daughter's name. The river stayed silent. Months passed. The seasons changed. People began to forget. Life returned to normal, or so it seemed. 1 year later, on the eve of the New Yam festival, strange things began to happen again. At night, villagers heard a woman's voice singing from the river. It was soft, haunting, beautiful, the same songs Nonioma used to sing. When they went to the river in the morning, they found fresh footprints in the sand, leading to the water and back again. The elders gathered in fear. "This is not good," said the oldest among them. "If the dead walk between the world of men and the world of spirits, the balance may break." They sent for Izenwa the Dibia once more. He came, older and weaker now, leaning on a staff carved with Nsibidi marks. He went to the river with palm fronds in his hand and spoke into the air. "Spirit of Idemalai," he said, "if you have taken this maiden, let her rest beneath your waters. Do not let her shadow trouble the living." The water stirred. A cool wind blew through the trees. Then the Dibia turned to the villagers and said quietly, "The spirit has spoken. He will release her for one night only, to bid farewell to her mother." The villagers murmured, fear and curiosity dancing in their hearts. That night, they waited. The moon was bright, and the air was thick with the smell of the river. At the hour of midnight, the water began to shimmer like silver cloth. Then slowly, from its depths, Nonioma rose. She looked just as she had before, young, beautiful, glowing softly with a light that seemed to come from within. The people gasped and fell to their knees. Mama Odezayako ran to her, crying, "My child. My child, you have come back to me." Nonioma smiled sadly. "Mama, don't cry. I am no longer of this world. But my heart would not rest until I saw you once more." Her mother touched her hand. It was cool, not cold, but it felt like water made flesh. "Please stay," she begged. "We can run. We can hide. The spirit won't find you here." Nonioma shook her head gently. "He always finds me. I belong where the drums beat beneath the water. But I came to tell you, do not fear the river anymore. When you come to fetch water, greet it in my name." As she spoke, the wind picked up. The surface of the river glowed brighter. The villagers saw shapes moving beneath, shining figures dancing in the water. The drums began to sound, faint but clear, from under the riverbed. Mama Odezayaku cried out, "Please, my child, don't go." But Nonioma smiled one last time, tears shining in her eyes. "The path between worlds closes with the dawn," she whispered. "When you hear the river sing, know that I'm near." Then, slowly, she turned and walked back into the water. Each step she took shimmered with light until she disappeared completely. The river grew still again. The next morning, the villagers found a single white flower floating at the river's edge. No one had ever seen that kind before. Mama Odezaiku picked it up and kept it by her shrine. From that day, the river never flooded again. Its waters became calm and sweet, and the fishermen said the spirit blessed their nets with plenty. Years later, when Mama Odezayaku died, the people buried her close to the river, as she had wished. On the night of her burial, the villagers swore they saw two lights moving together over the water, one bright like the moon, one soft like a star. They said it was Nonioma coming to lead her mother home. And from that time till now, people of Umu say that if you go to the river Idemalai at night and listen closely, you might still hear a woman's soft song blending with the sound of flowing water, the song of the girl who married the river spirit.